The answer is 79. The question, how many of the 136 movies released this year that I've reviewed would fall under the horror genre or any of its subgenres? Standard horror with a few supernatural, spoopy elements, demonic horror, supernatural horror, weird, goddamn, out there, crazy horror, absolutely bonkers horror, Beau is Afraid, Infinity Pool. Boy, those are two goddamn examples. Doesn't really matter, because if it's good to great to really surprising, if I don't think there's going to be much, but it surprises me and I just love it, yes, more horror like this, put it on my face, let it drip down my face, let it drip into my mouth, get down to the very gullet, let me just swallow more of it, let me just keep swallowing and swallowing great horror until it fills me up, horror cup, don't break my tart, no, I don't know what I'm on about. It could also fall into the category of just being okay. Few decent moments, nothing memorable otherwise, or really bad, abysmal atrocities that make you question what the fuck were they thinking. I don't know how much thought they put into that, but more would have helped. I'm here to talk about the good, the great, the surprising stuff, because I want to be positive. Sheik's always positive. If you're a non-wrestling fan, you are very, very confused right now. I'm John Redland with my 10 best horror movies of the 2023 list so far, with some honorable mentions. Yeah, I decided after doing my best and worst movies of the year so far list, I decided to talk about horror because I love me some horror movies. I was going to wait until the end of the year, but there are some I want to talk about. Some that I wasn't able to shout out when I did my best list. And honestly, it doesn't hurt to talk about a few of these that I may have mentioned, and I've done full reviews of every single one of these, and you can check those out on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist. But yeah, let me know your favorite horror movies, ones I should check out, that will release this year, by the way. So, yeah, let's get into the honorable mentions, because there's been quite a few good ones that didn't quite make the cut now. We have Cocaine Bear. Was it as bonkers as it could have been? No. But was it fun from the beginning? Yes. Elizabeth Banks, proving that she is a very competent director, even a pretty good director. I didn't mind the 2019 version of Charlie's Angels, even if it was unnecessary. Kristen Stewart didn't have pants. That was nice. But this didn't have Kristen Stewart. Did have Kerry Russell in it, who I still haven't forgiven for Dark Skies. That was terrible. And Ray Liotta, this being one of his last movies involving drugs, when he was involved in a lot of movies about drugs and gangster activity and stuff like that, and it's just kind of fitting. Yeah, it could have been a little bit more bonkers. I think there were a few times it played a little bit too straight, but it was a whole lot of fun. It's currently on the Cocaine Bear, as it were, and there you are. And Renfield. Nicolas Cage, Nicholas Hoult. It didn't make me hate Awkwafina, unlike the Little Mermaid live-action movie that had a rapping scuttle. She calls herself a rapper. I'm going to call myself an astronaut because I'm about as qualified as she is to be a rapper. That being said, she was good in this. Nicolas Cage playing Dracula, Nicholas Hoult playing Renfield, hence the title Renfield. Blood-soaked goodness. And, of course, I did a really, really silly intro for my review. You can check that out if you haven't yet. This is currently on the cock. You can get it as a Dracocula. You can sit on Dracula's cock. Maybe don't do that. But Renfield is a whole lot of fun. And then we get to the Astral Woods, which basically it's an indie horror movie, and indie might even be too generous because it's really just a few people in it, and it's about certain things going on in an area in the woods. An insurance scam goes tits up, and basically the main lady is the main character, except for a few flashbacks and a few characters introduced a little bit later. It's really just about her listening to a tape recorder and finding out more about this mysterious cabin in the woods. Is it perfect? No. Is it great? At times. It's like a long Twilight Zone episode. I've found myself enjoying it. It's on Tubi if you want to check it out. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. But I enjoyed it. Malum, a reimagining of Last Shift. And basically it's just with more money and more demonic spoopiness and craziness. And there were good parts of Last Shift. This was better. I'm not going to say it was perfect, but it was fun. And I'm glad I watched it in theaters. Even though I don't think it really made all that much in theaters. It got quite a marketing campaign, especially on social media. Malum is worth checking out. Bring out the fear. People walk in the woods and weird stuff happens. You have to question maybe the person that you love. Are they really still that person? What exactly is going on? Bring Out the Fear turns out to be pretty goddamn good. And Mercy Falls. Whew. Yeah, this was quite fun. Miss Nicolette, who is the main villain in this, was really the centerpiece of the whole thing. The rest of the cast are good. She was definitely a standout. I absolutely was captivated by her. Hopefully she's in more stuff. But yeah, everybody did a pretty good job in this. It wasn't necessarily a perfect movie, but when it decided to descend into the violence and into the madness, it succeeded quite well. Good world building, good locations, good cast. I would recommend checking out Mercy Falls. It's on Tubi currently. And again, Nicolette. Good God, gorgeous, just gorgeous. Now we get into the list proper now. So, number 10, Spoonful of Sugar helps the Shudder original go down. It was good. It was like if Orphan was, it had a bit of a twist on it. I'm not going to say it's as good as, well, actually it's about on par with Orphan because it had a whole lot of fun to it. It was, a plan was involved. They couldn't have possibly ended well, but Spoonful of Sugar was entertaining, comedic, violent, and good overall. I had a lot of fun with it, so check it out. Ennis Men is number 9. Neon Studio. I think I pronounced that right. It's basically just one woman on a weird island in the 70s in the UK somewhere, and she descends into madness. It's weird. It's not going to be for everybody. I ended up enjoying it. It had very good imagery to it, and it kind of looked like a lost film from the 70s as far as using the filter and everything. But Ennis Men, even if it's not for everybody, and even if it's not perfect, pretty good overall. Recommend checking it out. So, number 8, Swallowed. Yeah, smuggling drugs can be a bitch, and then especially when it turns out that maybe they aren't drugs, maybe there's something weird going on with them. Jenna Malone was in this. I like Jenna Malone. I don't understand why she hasn't been in bigger projects. Maybe this is her choice. That's fine, as long as she's getting work. Good. But Swallowed is quite entertaining, and also kind of gross. It could have maybe stood to be a little bit more, I guess, open-ended with its explanations, but it takes a bit to get to the gore, but when it does, boy, it's really goddamn freaky. Swallowed is fun. Influencer is number 7. Now, honestly, at first I wasn't so sure how to take this. I really enjoyed it. I thought the main antagonist was talented and very gorgeous, and had beautiful locations, and even if the premise reminded me a bit of A Perfect Getaway mixed with identity theft, it turned out to actually be something pretty good with pretty good world building, and I would recommend checking out Influencer, a good to great Shudder original. Not perfect, but good. Skinamarink. Okay, Skinamarink is unlike Ennis Men. Ennis Men, actually, and Skinamarink would be a little similar in the sense they're not going to be for everybody. If you thought the Ennis Men was cheap, Skinamarink is ultra cheap, and it's ultra cheap and ultra freaky about 2 kids where their world is basically disappearing. They're freaking out. They don't know what the fuck they're going to do, and it was made for 15 grand, and they got a lot for 15 grand, and it was freaky and weird. I'm glad I didn't watch this in theaters so I could study it better at home. Whew, yeah, Skinamarink certainly is something that you would that will stick with you. Now, it's not a perfect movie. It's maybe at times not even a great movie, but it is definitely something that sticks with you. And I put it up here because it is memorable, even if it's not perfect. Number 5, Infinity Pool. Mia Goth going insane. Wish she'd go insane on me. I love Mia Goth. She has really risen up in the horror genre. X, Pearl. Should have gotten a goddamn Oscar nomination for Pearl. Infinity Pool is nuts. I mean, it is nuts. It's from Brandon Cronenberg. So, I mean, right there. Look at who his dad is. Of course, it's from a Cronenberg. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be freaky. I'm not gonna say all of it makes the most sense, but the general theme of it is rich people can get away with shit. That's pretty much it, without spoiling anything. Infinity Pool gets a recommendation. Number 4, Husera the Bone Woman. Or Husera. I don't actually know how to say that properly because I don't speak Spanish. Freaky, weird. I believe this is currently on Shudder. I rented it before it was on Shudder, so spent a few bucks, and I ended up enjoying it. It has some good body horror elements, some weirdness, and yeah, it's freaky, and the ending certainly is memorable. You'll know what I mean when you see it. But Husera the Bone Woman, highly recommended. Quite good. Number 3, Beau is Afraid. I totally can see people saying I'm an idiot for recommending this, but it's from Ari Aster, Midsommar, and Hereditary. Midsommar, particularly a divisive movie. Hereditary tends to be the one that more people recommend of his three. Beau is Afraid is Joaquin Phoenix's descent into madness for 3 goddamn hours. Anxiety and nuttiness. I mean, there are points. There's a scene in the attic near the end that still haunts me, and I don't know what the fuck exactly is going on. It was just weird. Ari Aster got a lot of money to do this, about $35 million. Didn't really make a dent at the box office. Will probably make some money back on streaming. A24 might want to take it easy with how they're, giving money out, because I had a feeling this wasn't going to be as successful, but then again, Midsommar and Hereditary made quite a bit of money, so maybe they felt they had some money to burn. And it's a shame that Beau is Afraid didn't do better, because I really enjoyed it. Number 2, Brooklyn 4-5. Can we just fucking forget the goddamn war? Well, the war is over, says who? The horrors of war are all around us. Friends gather to help a friend go through some grief counseling, so to speak, and let's just say shit gets really, really weird about 30 minutes in. Current Shudder original that I did review in full with spoilers. You can check that out, but I recommend it. Great acting, great directing. The director / writer also worked with his dad, who was a war vet, and you could tell a lot of love and passion was put into it. So that's why it's recommended at number 2. Number 1, Mommy's with the maggots now. I can't do the hanging up on the ceiling like the lady did. Evil Dead Rise, that has one of the best title reveals in movie history. Seriously, that was amazing. Evil Dead Rise is great. I actually did a double feature of Beau is Afraid and Evil Dead Rise. And let me tell you right now, that was a really fucked up 5 hours that I spent. I mean, Evil Dead Rise actually was more like about an hour and a half or so, but with trailers and everything. I spent about 5 hours in a theater, or 2 theaters, watching those, and definitely a good day for horror. Evil Dead Rise gets a hell of a recommendation. As somebody that was not the biggest fan of the franchise in general, especially the 2013 version, this one surprised me. Again, perfect? No. But as far as body horror, as far as callbacks, and as far as that title reveal, and just as far as an overarching story from beginning to end, with all the stuff, they hinted at doing another one. And if the people involved in this, as far as the director, writer, if they can hit another home run with another one, I am all for it. An Evil Dead revival where people understand how to do comedy and horror with a proper budget. There you go. I would 100% watch another Evil Dead. Evil Dead Rise, my favorite horror movie of 2023 so far. What are yours? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.